drive, baby. Time to get in on another Spear Saturday, huh? As you can see, I've got a roughing machine going in the back. Already got this goal rolling. Things are looking pretty good so far. How we doing tonight, Romania? Good to see you again. Oh yeah, it's definitely been a hard week. Hey Park, how we doing, buddy? Good to see you. Thanks for joining. We've had some nice updates this week. I was able to get one of the other machines going, and actually it looks like it's a much higher speed than the other machines. Unfortunately, looks like one of the motors on the other machine's dead, so, you know, that's sometimes what happens. Hey Rock Dude, how we doing? Also was able to actually get some shims just in case I need them. Ooh. Hernia, yeah, that's not good. Hey, polishing marathon's excellent though, huh? So yeah, we've got this one rolling already. I found out last week after I had to cut it short that this motor is basically on its way out. It's just overheating and stuff like that, and so I got it to where we're a little bit cooler in here than last time. But I think what's going to end up happening is we're going to swap this machine over to our polishing machine and have this one be basically a backup. This one's way faster anyway, which is great because I wasn't aware that I actually had a faster machine. So it's going to be really nice. And right now I've got some 2.5 inch back here. We got the one we were working on last week. And then unfortunately, I have another 4 inch that we're going to be working on for next week, but come to find out it had a little bit of a chip in it, so we're going to have to get a little bit of epoxy on there. Hey Rockin' Lady, good to see ya. But yeah, we're just going to have to do a little bit of work on that one. And then I've got this guy as well that we'll be working on at some point, but as you can see, it's still a freeform. But yeah, everything's moving along real nicely. You know, do a little troubleshoot here and there and, you know, get things dialed in. As you can see, things are moving pretty smooth tonight. And ended up getting a little bit of grip system rolling on this one. And these motors are staying nice and cool too. So not only are they high-speed motors, but they're also, you know, looking like they're doing all right. You know, they're not just instantly dying like this guy that we had last time. Hopefully this is going to help production a lot. Oh yeah. The motor's dead, huh? Man, it seems like pretty common right now, huh? Dealing with motors. But you know, hey, a little troubleshooting and use your brain a little bit, and we all get it figured out. Yeah, Epoch started his faceting journey recently, and so he's been enjoying the fun of learning how to facet, and specifically how to dop stuff up. And I tell you what, you know, I've done a little bit of dopping when I tried to do captions and stuff, and yeah, it's frustrating. For some reason, you know, you'd think that gluing something onto a stick would be easier. This thing is just moving, so pretty happy about that. Oh yeah, that's the way to do it there, Rock Dude. Looks like we got some nice motion on our ball tonight. Definitely getting some good cutting going there. Seems like we're getting some nice mud buildup quickly. I have 3 pieces dopped and I'll wait till tomorrow to cut. Sounds like a plan, buddy. There you go. That's the way to do it, man. Just figuring it out, one thing after another. I actually had a pretty busy week myself, you know. I got one of those smaller ones in the back there, but we got a bunch of small ones waiting. These are all about, you know, 2.5 inch. And so actually I'm really happy to see that machine's doing a lot of work, you know. You know, now that I got the drip system on there, I can set it and forget it. We're just waiting for Highland Park to get me my professional cups there. And then that's gonna be a beast, I'll tell you what. I'm really happy about that one. Also makes me feel like it's going to be a good idea to swap motors out before too long, as soon as I get a little bit of hobby money going here. I mean, that thing's just working, and I mean, it's hard to see in the background there, but the difference in speed is incredible. Pretty happy about it. Speaking of happy, I think this is going to be a really, really nice one. You can see it's got some excellent color in it. And now that I got some nice shims, I'll be able to just do slight adjustments as need be, because that's one of the things that I've noticed with these home build machines. It seems like there is a lot of constant adjustments, even though these things, you know, they do a lot of the heavy lifting there. These shims are actually pretty valuable. Oh yeah, the speed difference is huge, buddy. And the cool part is since I was able to get those, well, I got some funky adapters. I was able to, you know, get it all set. But the nice part is if I say this motor decides to shut down again tonight, what we'll do is we'll just stop this guy, swap these machines over, and then we'll have, it's real easy for me to swap out the cups. You know, these cups will fit on that. Now that I have proper adapters, well, proper adapters. So I'm pretty happy about that. Definitely going to help production, that's for sure. And these motors back here, they're just sluggers, man. Staying nice and cool the whole time. And I got the Agri Road sign. Of course, Nate isn't here yet, but you know, finally got that thing up. I think it looks good. It goes with the, you know, the feathers and the map and stuff. Pretty cool. I think I'm gonna have to get some to fill up this space though. I will say though, I don't think because I have these cups here, and what they have is like somebody took some diamond brazing and then put it around the cup, and I really just don't think they're quite as effective as the production cups. And so, you know, hey, something's better than nothing, right? But yeah, we're gonna definitely be cruising once we get our production cups from Highland Park, which finally got a word back from them to like what, 3 days ago I think, because I was like, hey, it's been a while. I ordered these things in November, like the beginning of November, man. It's January. Like, any updates? Like, what's going on, guys? And I haven't heard nothing about anything from customer service. And you know, I get it. They have stuff they're dealing with here, but it's like, at least, you know, let me know what's going on. And so I got an update, and hopefully we'll be getting our order before too long. So, I mean, it's already kind of been a little bit, but there's not a whole lot you're going to be able to do, you know? You just got to wait. I think this ball actually might be ready to pull soon. And I think this one's about ready to swap over to the next stage. Look at that color. Woo. A little hard to see on camera, but you know, marginal upgrade. We're getting better each time we do these ones. So long as our machine doesn't break. Yeah, so, you know, I do have another drip system that I'm eventually going to put on the machine, but if I end up swapping out this one to be our main polishing machine, it's going to be already set up for us. Plus, like, I'm trying to make it to where, you know, it's not, well, with the drip, even though it, you know, it does what it's supposed to do, it doesn't quite clean it off as much. And so part of what I'm trying to do here is keep it a little bit cleaner so that you guys can actually see the ball itself. And I want you to be able to see the rotation, you know. But yeah, you know, we're getting it. Like this one doesn't quite adjust. Yeah, you see that? Alrighty, so I think we're going to swap this out just because I'm like, you know, a little worried about this motor. I want to give it a little extra time to cool down and stuff. I think here in a minute we're going to check that guy and just see how it's rolling. Since we're just getting started with using that machine, there's going to be a little bit of stuff that we're going to have to dial in. That though. Got some good green on it. It's gonna be a good one. Pretty happy about that. So let's get these guys swapped out to our next stage. Looks like I might have to re-glue my Velcro there. more of what we're looking for. Yeah, because we need to have the, you know, the random, yeah, walking a little, exactly. You can tell with the rotation there. And that's what the fun part is about with all these home build machines, you know. Little things you gotta dial in. And it seems like every time I try to do it, or I swap out the cup, there's a new little adjustment that needs to be made. But, you know, hopefully one day we'll be able to get a real nice setup, professional setup. For now, we'll just make do. Looks better only spinning north before you. Curious how this guy's doing. Definitely feel like this one needs to a little more. There we go. That's more of what I'm looking for. And we'll just slip some of these guys in here for rotation. Yeah, I think that's looking good. Buy myself a little bit of time over here to check this ball out. See how we're looking. Definitely seems like we still have some flat spot though. I mean, it's definitely better, but yeah, I've got flat spots on it still. And like I said, I just don't ever think it would be nearly as effective. The type of cups I have, they just won't be nearly as effective as the production cups. They're not as uniform. So you can see this one. It's doing okay. It's going to be a cool ball. But like, there's definitely flat spots and stuff, which it's done a lot to round out, but not nearly as much as it needs to. I need a little bit of extra lift on that. Yeah, that's a little too much. Too much. But that one actually. Yeah, see that right there? How it just dropped in like that? Interesting. Wonder why it just did that. This is still tight. That's still tight. That's still tight. I mean, to be honest, it looks like it's doing a good job, so we're not gonna mess with it. You know what I mean? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. didn't think that was helping with vibration now. Yeah. Huh. Interesting. Wonder what's up with that. It's working though. Huh. You know, I definitely feel like the motors are kind of more like that as opposed to like that. You know, so that might be something there. I just don't know why all of a sudden it went dunk. But hey, it's working, right? I ain't complaining. Alright, so we're going to do a little test here. As you can see, this ball right here, it's definitely pretty rough still. But I want to see about throwing this one in that other machine, just see how it rolls. Man, you can see how much faster that thing is. It's pretty incredible. Hey, Oregon Territory Adventures. Good to see you tonight, buddy. Thanks for joining. Let this guy go for a little bit, see how she does. I feel like this guy's looking nice though. And the nice part is too, is if this motor decides to seize up on us like last time, we're just going to swap them over instead of trying to let it cool down or anything like that. We'll let it cool on its own time. But yeah. Figuring it out, getting it going. Kind of feel like this could go just a length wider. Well, trying to adjust it while it's moving is probably not the best. Looks like it's got good rotation now. Let's see. This little block right here to kind of hold it in place for a second. There we go. Yeah, I think that's there. Just needed a slight adjustment, you know? good, and that water's cold. Ooh-wee. Oh yeah. The good stuff, right? Ooh, I gotta take a little slow-mo with that one. Love to do the slow-mo. Definitely doesn't seem like it's cut quite as much, but I think it'll be alright. Oh yeah, like butter, buddy. And that color is just glorious. Super gloss. Just tumble right along, and yeah, I think we're moving right along tonight. Everything's looking pretty smooth, unlike our last session. A little funky, but you know, hey, sometimes everything isn't perfect, you know. I will say, oh yeah, a little bit brisker than last time in here. It says it's warm in here, but I don't think it's quite as warm as it feels like. Gotta have a little coat on tonight. Dropped down to something like I want to say it was like 33 or something this morning, and it is clear skies out right now, so I know it's gonna get cold. I'm also hoping that little bit of chill is going to keep this motor from getting too hot on us. We'll just have to see though, roll with it, you know. Ball puns. So we are on, just completed our 500. Actually, you know, while I have a second, I'm going to take some of these where I cannot see them worth crap. I'm pretty sure this is the 300. So instead of trying to draw a little 3, what I did instead, as you can see, oh god, you can't see that. Just put 3 dot lines on it right there. That should help, at least somewhat. Don't really have a whole lot of room to try to write, you know. That thing is smooth. bro. Roman numeral. Get it. Way easier to see too, huh? Especially when you're trying to ride on the hook and loop stuff. Can't see anything on that. Until you get a little bit lighter color. That you can see. That, much harder. So that three lines really does help. Yeah, and of course, the higher up you go, it all is like pink and variations of beige and pink, and I'm like, okay, well, it's not the most helpful thing, but we'll figure it out. We'll work with it. We'll roll with it. Yeah, what's nice is this thing is actually like, it's super simple. You know, it's like I'm not really having to do anything for it. Even my setup seems like it's just easier to throw it in and get it rolling, you know. And it's got a really nice irregular pattern and stuff, and so it's like, yeah, it's gonna be a good one. Putting on some more dropping in, the stones, the hill stones, grinding half the itch. Yeah, exactly, bro. I tell you what, man. Yeah, I think this is going to be a really nice ball. The next ones that we're going to be doing are going to be pretty spectacular. And then I think what we're probably going to be doing is a couple, we'll end up swapping over to a different size. You know, for a little bit, we'll do a couple of smaller balls just to get our hands on those. And then we'll go back to doing like 4s. And once I get a little bit, hey Mike, good to see ya. Once I get a little bit of time, what I'm going to try to do is we're going to start doing 5-inch eventually. But that's going to take some more tooling and everything. And right now I'm just kind of trying to build up, you know, some 5-inch preforms and stuff. You can see right there, it's got some horns on it. You know, from the third drill, or the third time I drill. But that's a big ball right there, huh? These 5 inches are going to be really nice. That's premium material, like absolutely premium. In fact, that stuff is going to be extremely similar to this stuff, I believe. So you can see there, I mean, it's just got great color. So, yeah, those next, the big ones are going to be, they're going to be expensive ones, I'll tell you that. But, I mean, you know, I think it'll be worth it. Looks like we got a little spot there that's not getting the love. There we go. I think what I'm going to have to do is give that a little bump. I do not want that to miss our spot. differently. A little bit of swirl there. This is our little keep it in spot. I think I'm going to have to replace chains before too long. You know, build them up, get new ones, because they are looking like they're a little old. Our rotation looking pretty good. We're all right. Going on to the 1000 grit after this, so that's where we start going into our polish. And so we'll let this one go, you know, as long as it needs to. I know that's kind of ambiguous there, but I'd rather have it go in this one for a little bit longer and get all those deeper scratches out. But yeah, for the most part, once we get into like the 1000, 5000, I think it's 5000. So it's 1000, 3000, and then 10,000. I thought there was a 5,000. Anyway, those go pretty quick, you know. And so I think what we'll do is we might finish this up tonight. Finish this ball up, and then what I really like to do is I want to swap over machines, because in all reality this one's slow, and if we can do fast, fast is better. Look at that swirl though, huh? Woo! I like it. You know, and I think for like doing the roughing, I think that a slow machine is fine. You know, because if something ends up happening, you get a little bit of time. I know it's only fractions of a second, but as you saw last time when that ball popped out of the machine, if that was a fast machine, I might not have been able to get to it fast enough, and I could have like broken a cup or something. So I think it will be good to keep this guy right here as our roughing machine, and then what we'll do is turn this one into our polishing machine. Oh yeah, learning curves are real, bro. I like the steep ones though. I like steep learning curves. It's like learning how to swim. Best way to learn how to swim is just get in. This is some of my favorite right here. I love that slow-mo. So cool. Yeah, and you can see this one's still cutting pretty well, so we'll give it another couple minutes and then we'll swap over to our 1000. Sure looking nice though. I'll tell you what, this is going to be a really good addition, you know, to our little collection we've got going on. I've got some people that I want to buy these things, but you know, I'm trying to build up a little inventory first to make sure that you know, we're getting everybody covered here. You know, because I've already got a few that I've sold, and I've got a few more that I'm going to sell. But you know, the big part is, it's like you got to have the choice, man. You got to have the choice, especially when it comes to this this Antigerite right here. It is just such wicked stuff. That thing is just cooking back there. I'm digging it. too bad. They're not too hot right now. They're getting it though. So with these slow speed motors, you know, lately it's been taking about 5 hours, you know, from my first, once I actually have it shaped. So it is a slow process, and that's why I'm really stoked to have this machine to be able to speed that process up. Plus, you know, doing a 5-hour live stream, that's kind of tough for some people, and so what I'm going to do is I'd like to dial it in a little bit more. In fact, I wanted to let you guys know, I think next week we're probably going to do 5 p.m. 7 o'clock tends to go a little late for some people, and so we want to make sure we're thinking of everybody here, you know. Put a display case in at the rock show. Yeah, actually, you know, hopefully I'll have some by the time rock show comes around. You know, like I was saying, I've already got people. I mean, even the lady down at the gas station, she wants them. So I'm like, oh geez, I need to get some more material. I need to get this stuff going. I suppose it's kind of a good feeling, or a good thing, a good problem to have, huh? Just gives this a little bit of elevation. Looking pretty dang good though, I'll tell you what. That one here flipped a little bit. There we go. You can hear that rumble a little bit more now. Good. Look at that. You can see that one. Ooh, just midnight. Midnight green and black. Hopefully on this one we'll have a little bit of the so a lot of the times with the black it's like a magnesiochromite, right? And I'm hoping that what we'll do is we'll get a little bit of that to give us that metallic polish back. Because that really does add a lot to the characteristics of the Spirit itself. I think what we're going to do is we're going to squirt this guy out and move on to that 1000. Swap these. That how it actually like sunk into place. I think that's what we've been needing this whole dang time. Yeah, and you can see how the elevation is different on those. So it's like you can have it like this, right? And then you rest the ball just on the base of this, So then when you put your chains down, it goes like that. Learning, right? You can see that is just coming along really nice. Oh, and unfortunately he blocked the little dot that was in there, our little North Star. Yeah, it's gone. Well, just about gone anyway. On to our 1000 grid. Definitely feel like I'm going to have to make some of these before too long. I mean, they've still got a lot of life on them by the look of it, but it's probably going to be a good idea to have some on backup. And I've got some of the 7-inch polishing pads that I'll be able to make them with. Just about actually doing it. So, we had it like that, right? So it rests like that, bring it in, now, since we have a little bit of irregularity, see there, that's what we actually need. Yeah, so it might be that we need stiffer chains. Because you can see how it kind of went boom, but it took a little bit of pressure to get that to go. Plus it sounds way smoother. There we go. So it might not look super irregular, but what I do is I watch like to see if there's any kind of clean spot, and then does that clean spot eventually get covered? And it seems like right now it's doing all right. I do think this one needs just a bump though. So we'll put that block up underneath there. Give us a little bit of elevation. I definitely think we're gonna swap these chains out though. But we might not have to if we start using this one back here as a polishing machine. See how you're getting that top piece right there? That's where it's like, okay, what's the problem here? bad. Not great. Our mud buildup looks. That seems better. We'll have to see that. That's what I say about the just continuous little adjustments, you know? Oh yeah. Ain't that the truth there, Mike? Yeah, look at that. Isn't that wicked looking? It's not doing what it's supposed to do, but sure looks cool. There we go. Okay, so I do want this guy to be up just there. Just a bit. I think that does help. There we go. Exactly, buddy, exactly. Ain't that the truth, isn't it, Clark? Meanwhile, this thing, it's just going, it's just doing its thing. It's like, no, you don't have to worry about me. I'll be back here just doing my thing. Oh yeah, I tell you what. Yeah, it even looks like it's doing all right from camera. Not too bad. Getting some good build up. Yeah, I can't wait till this one gets done. I think it's going to be great. This will be a good one for the shelf. Yeah, this stuff is just moving. Trying to be smart here. and not have the open water source where I might have my phone at point. Jeez. Try to be smart about things and not junk my phone. I already have enough troubles. Oh yeah. Look at that. Just nice doing its thing. I love the pattern that it leaves from all the, from the actual polishing itself. It looks so cool. Looking good though, man, I tell you what. And this thing's just moving. I can't express how excited I am about that machine. It's going to help me out tremendously. This is the 1000 there, Epoch, and then we'll be moving on to our 5000 or our 3000 and 10,000. Only a couple more stages to go. And then once we finish up this sphere, we're actually going to swap that machine over and make that our new polishing machine. I think it's a smart move. Yeah, so funny you say that there, Oregon Territory Adventure, because Rock Dude gave me a big chunk of petrified wood from Powers recently, and once I get the chance, that's one of the next 4-inchers that we're going to be doing. I would do a 5, but like I said, I need to get bigger roughing cups, and since I'm already waiting on some roughing cups from Highland Park, it's probably going to be a while before I can do the 5-inch. Plus, I think that once I'm ready to do the 5-inch, I need to have like a bunch of preforms ready to go. So like these cups right here are not big enough to do 5-inch. In fact, the 4-inch is as high as I'm actually supposed to go. So that's why we've been doing a lot of 4s. But I mean, a 4-inch ball is pretty awesome, you gotta admit. Yeah, this thing's just moving. It's really nice to not have to need to constantly adjust that machine either. That is a big relief. Oh yeah, that would be awesome, man. I wish it wasn't so expensive to send stuff to Canada. I'll tell you what. I got a buddy that has a YouTube channel. I sent him some stuff a while back. Just did like a, flat rate shipping box, like I usually do. And got to the post office, was like, hey, I want to send this up to my buddy. And, I'll just throw it on the scale. Usually it's $22 or something to send that size box. And I didn't even think that it's going out of country. And yeah, the guy's like, all right, it's going to be like $80 or something. I'm like, wait, what? I thought it's 22. Oh, no, it's going out of country. I'm like, oh, that's an expensive box. Oh yeah, buddy. That'd be awesome, Rock Dude. I think, you know, that's probably what we're going to end up doing before too long, you know. It's like, because we've been doing a lot of the Antigerite, and I think we'll get to a point where it's like, we'll do a bunch of petrified wood, and then we'll do like maybe a bunch of jasper or something, you know. Just because I know that not everybody gets to like tune into these streams, and so it's like, maybe they didn't get in this week, but they'll could come in next week. And so it's like, yeah, let's do, you know, maybe a few weeks where it's like petrified wood month or something like that. We'll do 4 balls or something, you know. Do one different type of petrified wood from various locations each week, you know. We might find though that this speeds up our you know, our process tremendously though. Minimum $50 for 12 pounds. Yep. Pricey, buddy, pricey. That just means that you got to make sure you're sending the good stuff, right? Definitely feel these little fans are a little underpowered for what they, because as I try to measure the heat from different parts, here I'll show you on this one. So I put the heat gun right here on the side, right? And it measures one temperature. Of course, as I get closer over here, it measures another, and then up here it measures another. So in general, I think, you know, these are probably just, they're only going to have so much life left, but that's fine. You know, eventually we're going to get high speed everything anyway. Fortunately, I was able to talk with John over there at Highland Park, and he was saying that I guess what they're doing is they have like 1750 RPM or something like that, but then they gear down it, or gear it down to like 300 RPM, which is what that guy is back there. And so we'll just have to like figure out some motors and stuff, because it's a lot easier for me to buy some motors right now than buy one of their machines, you know. It's just the reality of things. I don't have an extra $4 grand plus shipping, you know. If I did, I probably would put it into the shop anyway, but yeah, you know, it's all about patience, it's all about time. That pattern though, with those lines and stuff, dude, it just kind of mesmerizing. I love it. It's so cool. It almost reminds me of like one of those like Nautilus seashells or something, you know? The fractal pattern, or like the Fibonacci sequence. There we go. That drip down just a little bit, see if we can get a little bit more aggressive with that. At least I can do is make my little workspace a little bit more presentable here. we're probably going to be able to swap this one out to our next stage here shortly. Give it another couple minutes, I'm thinking. Sweet valve. There we go. I think that's a good pattern right there. You can definitely see the swap, the change out. That's why I say it's interesting how it's like, it feels like it really does need these constant adjustments. And I feel like that's a product of the vibration and everything, right? And so any kind of like adjustments you had previously, they can kind of, you know, they can shake them, rattle themselves, you know, out of place. It's also why I'm thinking it's going to be a good idea to get these chains, new springs at least, for these guys before too long. I think they're definitely doing their job a whole lot better than any kind of shims were. So. But, you know, that's part of learning, figuring it out, dial it all in. Alrighty, I think maybe I'd be able to move on for this one. I'm also a little bit hesitant to let him go for too long because I don't want this motor to overheat, you know? Definitely coming right along. Can clean it up just a little better though. Use this to squirt fresh water. Yeah. You can see that really nice green in there. If I can figure out how to show you guys with the camera. Looking pretty wicked. It's got some nice character. To our 3000. So I feel like we'll do that, tighten this, and throw our chains on. Nice and tight. look at that. Why is that loose? Yeah, it is loose. Alright, 1 second. Sorry about that. Good thing I noticed. Really? Huh. The other guys are looking good. Yeah, it's just that one. Interesting. Better keep an eye on that. Okay, back to work. Yeah, see how it pulled it down? There we go. Now I did have, last time, I have this guy just raised up underneath there a little bit. Kind of feel like this needs a little support. Okay, should be all right. Just to make sure. Yeah, I think we're all right. Got a nice rotation on there. You can see it's not really building up a whole lot of mud very quickly, but we have great contacts. Yeah, I'm on all chains. Oh, hey, look at that one. Let's just get this one a little bit tighter. There we go. Yep. Alright. Yeah. It's doing what it should be. Let that go for just a second. Yeah, I definitely feel like this is working, but just not nearly as efficiently as the production cups. Definitely feel like we're seeing more foam than we are actual cuts, so we'll keep going. There we go. I'm going to put these on the sides here. Give it a little support. But you can see it's definitely doing some wobble and getting its this pattern. I mean, this is a 3,000 grit though, so from my experience in the past, what we've been having is once it gets to about that 3,000, it's really not cutting a whole lot. It's nothing to cut, you know? Especially since we let that previous stages go a little bit long, you know? I think it's a little safer that way. Cool. Hey, definitely appreciate you stopping by there, Mike. Always good to see you, buddy. Yeah. I think we'll just let that roll for a little bit. Seems like it's doing okay. The pattern's definitely good. It's definitely doing what it should be doing. Just wondering. Let me see something real quick. We're going to go all the way. We're going to take these chains to the max. Oh, come on. There we go. Hey, you know what? Like I told you there, E-Clock. You know? Little bro. Hey, okay, swing by. Hey, what's up, Steve? Straight parallel, yeah. So we'll take this one to this guy. I mean, we're getting good rotation now. And so, plus we're going to swap out here shortly. So we'll just let this one roll for a little bit and then we'll see how it goes. In fact, it might be an idea to take that last stage, going from the right side to the left side of the motor. I see what you're saying there. Yeah, exactly. Hey man, no danger zone in this shop. Safety first, bro. So here, we're gonna do what Steve was saying and see if that changes anything. Yeah, that's the only thing though. Alright, screw it. We'll just leave it like this for now. We'll swap over to our other machine. Let this do its thing for now. Because that other machine ain't even really eating chains, from what I'm seeing. And since our rotation's pretty clean on this, I'd say we're probably alright. Great rotation, great pattern. I'm thinking give that just a little bit right there. Pretty good. Nah, no dish soap. Slow down the wobble on the motor, got to change across over and probably toss off alignment. Yeah. That's why I'm just like, yeah, we'll see how it goes, because we'll just throw this one on, and I bet you this is going to change the entire game. It's going to change everything. Make it a lot better. And these cups will fit. Plus, I kind of got to wonder how much of the alignment is actually due to the adapters, the homemade adapters, you know? The other thing. Kind of tough to say with these home gamers. Now, this isn't the new machine actually there, Steve, so this was one of the ones I had it sit behind the camera here. And I did, so I've got 4 machines in total, and this one was, this motor right here was overheating. This motor was overheating last week, right? So we had to cut the stream short and everything like that. I turned it back on like an hour later, and it did work. So I was like, okay, clearly it's on its way out. It's just dying. So earlier this week I was like, okay, well, let me see if I can mess around, get one of the other machines set up, so then we don't have to worry about that. I turned it on, and although all 3 motors worked, on the other machine, although all 3 motors worked, as soon as you put any load on one of the motors, it just completely stopped moving. And so I was like, okay, well that sucks. So now, of 6 motors, I've got 4 motors that work. Oh, I could have swore I just saw this thing like, yeah, anyway. So I'm like, okay, that sucks. Screw that one, let's just see what we can do. So I set that one, the other one aside, pulled this bad boy out here, and then was really trying to like tinker around with it, right? And the problem was is that I needed to have the adapters. So it had 2 of these on there, right? But the problem is you need 3. So I'm like, okay, well how about this? I had these adapters that I made a while back, and I was like, okay, well let me put them on there. Too big. So I'm like, of course, right? So I go to the hardware store again, and I'm trying to do this. And finally, I was like, all right, I need to get because this one already had some other ones that fit and everything, and I was like, all right, well, here's what I'll do. All I needed to do was get some set screws. I could use those. Then I needed to get a reducer to go from, because I was just trying to get on roughing, right? And my roughing cups are 1 inch. the adapter that goes to the spindle is 1/2 inch. So I'm like, okay, I need to get set screws and a reducer. Cool. Find the reducers at Home Depot. They don't sell set screws anymore. I'm like, of course you don't. Of course you don't. So I do some work, you know, for some family, get a little bit of time. Then I go to Ace Hardware. They're like, oh yeah, no problem. We've got you covered. And so I go and get the set screws, but it seemed like none of them were fitting. I'm like, what in the hell? So finally I look down in the little tiny old itty bitty hole, and I'm like, oh, they're just worn out brass. All right, well, these are freaking steel. So I'm like, cut new, you know, cut new threads on it. Well, it worked, and so I was like, okay, here we go. So we got this machine going, and it's clearly way faster, like twice as fast. And so I'm like, all right. Now, the idea is that I like how the slow speed machine is for roughing. So I think what it's going to do, and you don't need to keep it on quite as long because you're not doing, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 stages. So I'm like, okay, we'll use these slow machines, this one and this one back here, for our roughing. And then, since this one is just absolutely so much faster, the motors are staying nice and cool because the fans are much bigger, we're going to swap this one out to be our primary polishing machine. So roughing is already going to be like, you know, a bottleneck. So I figured if we have a high-speed machine, we can have 2 machines roughing, one high-speed machine pre-polish and polishing, and it should balance everything out. So we'll have to see. Hey Tiger Eye, good to see ya. Yeah. Probably brushes, man, but dude, these things are pretty old, man. Pretty old, so that's alright. The nice part is we still have extra motors, right? So if anything, we'll be able to keep rolling. And this machine back here, it's a brick shit house, right? It's solid. So I'm pretty stoked with this guy. It's got GM motors on it. We'll remain this guy as a roughing. This is probably going to get turned into a roughing machine here. And then, yeah, we're just going to rock and roll. And then if this motor ends up failing, we're going to pull one of the other motors off of the other machine, swap it out until that one dies or one of these other motors die. And then, yeah, that buys me a little bit more time to invest in getting some high-speed motors. You know, because ultimately, I'd rather have all high-speed if I can. You know, and in fact, Frank over here, and I've been using to, you know, if I need to do, like, my preforms, you know, because I've got to grind off all those edges and stuff, and then, of course, you get this, you know, this, there you go, you can kind of see that. So when I have to drill them, it always leaves this little bit there because of my jig, right? So naturally I have to, you know, use the wheels to get it to where it's all an actual ball. And I put it in the roughing machine, and it's usually pretty good. Well, what I think I'm going to do is this is a Poly D14 arbor with like a, I don't know, I think it's a 1/3 of a horsepower motor. I can do diamond. All I got to do is set it up, you know, change my belt size and everything like that. Oh yeah, always appreciate it, Tiger. I definitely appreciate it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap Frank out to have diamond, so then I can actually do all my grinding here. Lately I've been going to the museum. I like going over there anyway, but you know, if you don't have to pay by the hour, and I can just do it at home, it saves time and money. So, and I want to say that the to switch it over to diamond, really all it is moving my belt, adjusting a few things, because this motor will slide back and forth. You know, whoever made Frank actually did a little bit of thinking when they did it. And so, yeah, I think it's just going to be overall pretty good. And I think it is Kingsley North. They sell a really beastie wheel, and so I like 80 grit, right? But it's cross, and so with this Integra right there, it's just burns through the gnarly stuff. Way fast, way fast. I did the other day. I went down to the museum and was able to grind off like 6 balls in about 2 hours. They're smaller, but nonetheless, usually takes me a whole lot longer. Yeah, I mean, this is even looking pretty good. It's not bad. It's not perfect. There's still some flat spots on them, but that's why I think once I get my new roughing cups from Highland Park, and I brought adapters and everything like that. Hey Casey, good to see ya. It's going to be really nice to just be able to swap the cups out on this one. Because I've already got some adapters, I've already got everything going, and it works really well. But, having a high-speed polishing machine is just going to make a world of difference. So yeah, you can actually see this one's coming along. It doesn't look like it's doing a lot, but when you look at the drip, the buildup on the cups, it's looking like it's definitely doing its work. So I think here in a minute we're going to swap this out. We'll give it another maybe 2-3 minutes, then we'll swap the cup out, or swap to our last stage. We got 10,000, and then I think what we're going to do, just to kind of round this stream out, is we're going to set this guy up over here, get it to where it's going to be our main squeeze, because man, speed is everything, and especially in this polishing. You got 9 stages to go through, and if you're having issues with motor overheating and stuff, it's just better to shorten the length in general. So I'm pretty stoked about this. It's all about just making progress. That's all I'm trying to do. Is every time I do this stream, I want it to be better for you guys, which means it needs to be better for me naturally, right? Because if my job's easier, you guys get to enjoy it a lot more. Plus, you get to see that finished product a little quicker. You want to help build a website? I'll help you. Yeah, I mean, eventually I'm going to do that. Right now, I'm just kind of using rockhound.com, because they're good friends of mine and stuff. But with all the sales that I've been doing as of right now, people just email me or they send me a direct message on Instagram. Sometimes I'll get a message on Facebook or something like that, but I've got a PayPal and an Instagram account, so it's like, yeah, send me a message. Send the money through PayPal, and it's easy. But yeah, eventually we're gonna get there. Just one step at a time, This is just whipping. So nice. Yeah, I think what it is just the fans are not strong enough for the motors themselves. That's where you can see on this guy, it's got way beefier fans on it. Plus, if it's going faster, it's producing more wind to cool that thing down, Alrighty, so let's give this guy a go. Yeah, I can definitely see there is some buildup there, you know. As you can see, it's definitely, oh yeah, it's definitely doing something. So, that's what I like to see. Taking this guy off. If I got a clean towel around here, we can dry it off. See where we're actually at. Let's see. Did I really use up on the towels? So as you can see, that one's definitely getting there. You know, that's dry right now. And so we're going to move on to our next stage, last final one, and should be good. That'll put a real nice shine on it. Oh yeah, digging it, aren't you, Fuck? I can tell you already into it. I want to get the airbags for awesome. You got a job coming on, huh? That'd be great. Here we go, one more step, just see final results. Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're gonna throw this last 10,000 grit on, and that's as high as the polish I have, unless I whipped out some cerium oxide. But I don't actually have cerium for this this size. I need like, basically I need cups that look like this, you know, and I don't have those for that size. So we'll go with our 10,000 on this one, which it has been giving us a really nice polish. So I'm thinking we're going to be good on that. And I'm going to drop that in like so. And actually, you know what? I feel like that's one of things I'm looking at here. Hold on. Come on. There we go. Alright, just a little nip on that. Tight. Shove it all down. Alright. Nice little squirt up. And we've been putting this up underneath. That's been giving us a little extra love. Oh yeah, I forgot I need to tighten these guys up. There we go. There we go, look at that spin. Sweet. I'm sure that's got a little love juice on it. And let it roll. Hey, what up, Nate? Hey, what's up, Nate? Hey, what's up, buddy? How you doing? You having a good time tonight? Oh wait, hold on. There we go. Oh wait. Ah, look at that. Look at that, Nate. Doesn't it look so awesome? Any polishing compound that helped? Just pretty much water, hand polish when done. So really, once it's done with this 10,000 stage there, because of this material, like, it's good, man. Don't really have to go any higher. And in fact, I don't think cerium oxide would really do anything else. Fortunately, if I need to, oh wait, if I need to, I've got a little cerium oxide here, just in case. So 1 pounder. But, you know, I've got to get the cups for it. That's the only thing, is every little bit, you got to have a different set of cups, right? And it's like, it's expensive. That's why I'm really happy with this material. Now, it's not really needing much more than the 10,000 if it does. You know, in fact, most of the time, I've been doing the 3,000. It's fine. It comes out nice. Now, because this is a little bit harder material, because this is actually the bowenite as opposed to the Williamsite, the 10,000 will actually do something. Now, eventually, once I get my whole setup going and I'm fully operational, then, yeah, of course, I'm going to be doing everything. Make sure that I get the highest shine possible. Sprinkling walnut shells in there and stuff. 60,000 grit on the bat disc? Yeah. Of course, you need to go through the progressions. Exactly, man. Yeah, you can see though, this has got a nice rotation on it. I bet you this is going to come out real shiny. Hopefully this motor doesn't overheat before we get it, huh? Hey, Pacific Northwest, good to see you, buddy. Exactly, flux capacitor. Nate, so I still got to figure out where I'm going to put this guy though. You know, because it's a little smaller. It's going to be real hard to see back here. So, I don't know. Maybe once we get the other machine, set it up, you know, something like that. Something like that. I don't know. We'll figure it out though. It's going to be cool. I really like those things. A big one for like right here, you know, in this white space, big yellow and red Jolly Roger looking thing. Would be awesome, bud. Eventually I need to get like a Rogue Rockhound symbol, something like that, you know. I mean, the typical, because, you know, I live here in the Rogue Valley. I was real clever with my name, as you can tell. But yeah, you know, I think that it would be, you know, if you look around at a lot of them, you'll have like the Rogue where it's like, oh, they've got the covering on their face and stuff. It might be cool, you know, but we'll figure it out. Maybe we'll get some of the people. You know, because I think Nate and his wife, they're both graphic designers. Sounds like Steve's got some artistic capability with him as well. You know, we'll just see what works, you know what I mean? Do something cool. though. Little adjustments. Possibly flat lap with a motor from a drill? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's just, you know, you want to be careful. That's the main thing. And they're going to be messy. You know. I see quite a few people on Facebook groups, you know, the lapidary groups. Holding the steer in a bit, that's exactly, bro. Curious to see how this has been, because it's been going the entire time. Looks like it's doing all right. Looks like it's doing all right. Definitely cuts that vibration issue. Wondering kind of where that is. Now my pattern's a little wonky. Maybe we'll slip a little guy back in here. vibration happening. Not sure what's up. That's alright. We're going to have a lot of this fixed soon. Was that a Rock County permit sticker? Yes, it was. They're Pacific Northwest. Yep. Nate makes these ones. Pretty wicked. Pretty wicked. That sounds like it's better. Doesn't need to go a whole lot longer anyway, so we'll just let her go. Quit messing with it, you know. Oh yeah, buddy, it's gonna be a nice one. I'm really looking forward to this. You know what I should do though? See if I can actually find a cleaner towel. Up now. I think you might need to disable the mic on that close-up camera. Yeah, I'll have to figure that one out. I don't know exactly how to do that, but can you hear me on this one? Let's see. that change anything, Nate? I think I might have just maybe fixed it, not positive. Still trying to dial all this stuff in, you know, buddy. This right here. Oh, why? No. I think it's just one microphone hitting the motor is in the foreground, yeah. Yeah. That's going to be the unfortunate part about working in a shop is trying to figure out how to not blast the sound and, you know, make it where it's actually enjoyable. This guy's about done now. Might be something just have to figure out. Unfortunately, the sound really does ruin for some people. Super annoying, you know. This is the final stage, man. Final countdown. It's at 10,000. I really don't know why the hell that's making all that ruckus. The whole time it was fine. Now all of a sudden it's like, yeah, I don't know. But this thing's about done anyway. We'll call it here in just a second. Yeah, now you hear it, huh? Do not know why it's doing that. Definitely sounds like this one though. Do not know why it vibrates so terribly, but I'm annoyed by it, so you guys are probably getting annoyed by it as well. And yeah, I think we're pretty much at that stage to where we can probably call it. So I'll pull this back. See, that might be part of what we're looking at here, since we were struggling with our Alright, now just need a clean towel again. So we're going to go with old blue there because it looks like it's about as clean as it's going to get. I don't have a bunch of paper towels out here anymore. Use those up too quickly. Looks extremely hot. Yeah, probably. So we're gonna do a little bit of shirt polish here. Since I don't have exactly what I need. You can see there, it's got a real nice polish on it. Got some nice green areas in there. And actually, I know that the camera's really struggling there, but there is a bunch of the metallic sparkles in it, like I was really hoping for. And so I'm thinking this is going to be a really nice one. Look at that gloss. Yeah, so I'd say that one worked out pretty well. And now what I'm going to do is we're going to banish this machine to the back for being so loud to us, giving us a hard time. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm digging it. I am digging it. And what we're going to do is swap out. Come on. Go those guys. And hopefully we're going to make this all a whole lot quicker. Because faster machine, faster product. Now, I'm going to turn this water off. Ah, that's just wonky. So we're going to pull this back. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty close to a ball. Let's see if I can show you guys. I mean, it's definitely much more round, but the professional cups would have had this done in half the time, and it would have been actually round. That one still's got a long ways to go, in my opinion. So, what I think, yeah, I can probably. Let me get my, there it is. There it is. We're going to set this off to the side for a second. And then I think what we're probably going to just do is grab these guys and pull these off. So I think we'll just hold that. Yeah, because getting this other machine as a polishing machine is going to dramatically increase our speed. In fact, it should more than double it. Which is going to make me a very happy boy. Can I just, oh hey, look at that, I actually can. Cool. Alright. Before I forget, I'm going to take these guys off and rinse them in our bucket. We'll get that. We shall move this that out of the way. This could just hang for a bit. And I'm really actually liking that bucket. I think it's going to be probably a better reservoir, so then I don't have to keep emptying it out so often. Plus, if I've got a nice drip system going, it should help. But that means I also need to move this again, because right now playing a little bit of musical chairs. So we'll set these guys aside. Alright, hopefully this isn't going to be too painful to move now that I got this water system on here. Alright. I do think though we're going to move this. Oh man. Do not want to. Jeez. Alright, well, we're just going to set these aside for now. And get our trough in here. Maybe set it up like that. And I'm thinking that probably going to put our drip system over here on this side so we're not blocking out the camera view. Which means we're going to rotate this thing. Getting our cord out of the way. And yeah, swap out our cups and we'll call it a night. Should be alright. Should be alright. You know what? Because I do not want to deal with this, I'm going to make sure that's up in there real nice and tight. Oh man, it's going to be a little bit different. Okay. That's not easiest machine to move. I think we'll be able to do it. Now we're going to have to definitely adjust our camera angle and everything like that, as you can see, because now it's up much higher and everything, but I think that overall this is going to give us a much better situation here. Now we might have to do this, something like that. I think that's tolerable. But yeah. Alright. Hey Debbie, good to see you. We're looking at equipment, Jack, get rid of it today. Sphere Machine is insanely heavy duty. Yeah, I mean, I'll definitely have to check it out. Call that Emerald Triangle, exactly. It's wild, nice. My trough looks like, yeah, exactly. So we're going to get this, swap our cups out real quick. And I think we're just going to wrap it up there. Now next time I'm going to have this a little bit different setup. Don't be surprised. But I also wanted to make sure you guys know that next week we're going to be doing 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time instead of 7. Because there are some East Coasters, there, you know, Midwesters and whatnot. And we want to make sure that, you know, everybody's getting a good time frame instead of actually, you know, getting off, like, finish it up sometimes at, like, you know, if it goes super long, I don't want you staying up until 3 o'clock in the morning, you know what I mean? If you're on the East Coast or something like that. So, you know, I think 5 o'clock is going to be the time. I'll make sure to put a little post out on my channel there, just to let you all know. But, yeah. Jeez, look at that. Look at how shiny that thing is. Oh, yeah. It's nice when it's got a different background on it. You can actually see some of the color coming through. And actually, you see this little... It looks like... Oh, man, it had it there for a second, too. Dang. Anyway, you can see some of the little metallic speckles in there, too. Those inclusions make it look really sweet. But I'll try to take a picture of this one, let you guys see it on Instagram where you can actually see some better image quality than a webcam or two. And yeah, just make sure to check it out. Next time is going to be 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And hopefully we'll have the high speed going and everything's going to be real sweet. So with that said, I think I'm going to call it on this one. And I hope you all have an excellent evening or day for Romania and stuff like that. And yeah, as always, I appreciate you joining. And I hope to see you again next weekend. So have a great night, and I'm going to see you then.